We're taking you beyond the road with Princess and Regina. The conversation isn't aging with plenty of information. Riding Harleys is their hobby, but serving is their passion. You get the best of both the worlds. Any questions, you're free to ask them. Welcome to Beyond the Road. We're taking you beyond the road. Welcome to Beyond the Road. We're taking you beyond the road.
What's up, everybody? It is Thursday again, so you know what time it is. It is your favorite podcast, Beyond the Road. I am your host, Regina, and
I am your host, Princess.
And we are excited to have you here with us on tonight. So you know what it is already. It is time for us to tell you about our t-shirt giveaway. So stay tuned.
We are thrilled to announce a special t-shirt giveaway just for our amazing listeners. Want a chance to win? Here's how to enter.
So listen, this is how you're going to enter. It's the one who has the most active engagement. So what does that mean? It means we need you commenting. We need your feedback. The more active you are, the better your chances of winning. Tell them what happens next, Princess.
The winner will be announced at the end of the episode. So make sure you are tuned in. Good luck, and let's get this conversation rolling.
We see Showtime already in the house. What's going on, Showtime? Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us on tonight's Beyond the Road podcast. So I am so excited about the guest that we have on tonight because this is a subject that is near and dear to my heart. I met this wonderful woman during the time when I was a caregiver for my mom, and the services that she provides it's so needed. And I'm so glad that she has a heart for what she does. So we're going to welcome her to the stage and allow her to introduce herself. Good.
Hi, ladies. How are you all?
We're doing well.
Great.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be on our podcast on tonight. Tell the folks who you are and what organization you represent.
Hi. So thank you all for having me, Regina and Princess. My name is Venitra, and I am the founder and executive director for the Frankie Mae Foundation. And our tagline is Care for the Caregiver. And I'm sure we'll get into all of what that means and what the foundation does and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Sounds great. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Princess so we can get our conversation going.
Absolutely. Thank you for Venitra for accepting our invitation to come on Beyond the Road to share with us how the Frankie Mae Foundation is providing care for our caregivers. So let's get started. Let's kick off things by discussing the heart of Frankie Mae Foundation. It's always fascinating to hear what drives an organization vision. So what inspired the creation of the Frankie Mae Foundation?
So the Frankie Mae Foundation is actually named in memory of my mom, Frankie Mae Allen White. My mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in early 2012, and I was her primary caregiver. And when she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, trust me, there was nothing I knew about being a caregiver for someone with Alzheimer's. We were flying by the seat of our pants and just trying to find resources, not just for her, but for me as her caregiver. Just the day-to-day. I found out about an adult daycare when I was caring for my mom. I had never heard of an adult daycare before my mom was diagnosed. And just little things, finding out about adult daycare and just different resources for her. Medicare, navigating through Medicare, all the things, being a caregiver and caring for my mom for almost 10 years. And throughout that 10-year process of being a caregiver, of the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, the laughter, the crying, I mean, the ugly crying, like all the emotions in between. And Regina, I see you nodding your head because you know you lived it too. And while we were in COVID, the last 7 months of my mom's life, we were smack dab in COVID. My mom passed away in September of 2020. And while we were in COVID, I know so many people experience death and it was a horrific time. But I tell people this, those 7 months of my mama's life were probably some of the happiest times I had during caregiving because we were forced to shut down. We were forced to do that quality one-on-one time without all the hustle and bustle and running, getting to adult daycare, coming home, like all of that. We just had time to focus on her uninterrupted and just soak in all the good things that just happened while we were in COVID. And so that's my long story of how the Frankie Mae Foundation came to be. Those last 7 months, I was, and I have a husband, I have siblings, and I have that support system. And I started thinking about the people who don't have that support system. They don't have siblings, they don't have a spouse, they don't have friends. What are they doing in this caregiving space, and what do they need? And so I talked to my brother and sister and talked to my husband. I was like, I want to do something for caregivers. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I know mama is not going to be here for too much longer. So what am I going to do to, number one, honor her memory, and number two, to help other family caregivers? So that's how the Frankie Mae Foundation came to be.
Wow.
I'm not crying on this podcast tonight. Let me coach myself through this right now. I'm not crying on this podcast tonight.
If you do, you might not be by yourself. So we'll cry together.
Oh, goodness. We do have a question from the audience. If you know the answer, it says, this is a great topic. I'm looking for what is the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia?
Yeah, that's a good question. I get that all the time. And before we go any further, I did want to point out, even though my mom had Alzheimer's, the foundation isn't just for Alzheimer's caregivers, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But to answer the question about the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia, dementia is the umbrella term, just like cancer. So dementia is the umbrella, and you have different types of dementia, just like you have different types of cancer. Alzheimer's is a type of dementia. Parkinson's is a type of dementia. Lewy body is a type of dementia. Huntington's is a type of dementia. So Alzheimer's is just up under that umbrella of dementia. So I hope that answered the question.
Yes, thank you.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's that dementia is the umbrella term of different symptoms, because each type of dementia, some of them have symptoms that are the same, but some of them, they're different. They affect different parts of the brain. And so, of course, when you're affecting different parts of the brain, you're going to have different outcomes when it comes to what dementia what Alzheimer's looks like, what Parkinson's looks like, what Lewy body looks like. So there are different types of dementia.
Okay.
And I see a follow-up question. So there are no steps to go from dementia to Alzheimer's. How does it progress?
No. So again, dementia is the umbrella. You don't graduate from dementia to Alzheimer's. You have Alzheimer's or you have Parkinson's, but there are stages to Alzheimer's. There's a beginning stage, mid stage, end stage. So there are stages of Alzheimer's, not stages of dementia.
Got it. Another question said, is there medication to help with Alzheimer's?
So there are medications to slow Alzheimer's, but Alzheimer's is a chronic disease. There's no cure for it. They do have medications, again, that can slow the progression and that can help with some of the symptoms, but there is no cure for Alzheimer's.
All right, back to you, Princess.
Okay, Venitra, what is the primary mission of the Frankie Mae Foundation, and how is it different from other caregiver support organizations?
So our mission, and I'm just going to summarize our mission is to help family caregivers through spiritual, emotional, financial. We're just here to help the family caregivers through resources, programs, and things to help with their day-to-day life. And what makes us different, we are a wraparound support group for family caregivers. We are a nonprofit, we're a 501c3, and one of our main program service is our monthly meetups. And so the last Saturday of every month, except for November and December, because the last Saturday is usually too close to Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. So we have those earlier in the month. But the other months, the last Saturday of the month, we get together. We have someone to come and talk about different resources for family caregivers. It could be someone from an attorney's office to talk about the legal paperwork that family caregivers need to have in place. It could be someone from a physical therapist's office to talk about the importance of physical therapy for the caregiver and for their loved one.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a different speaker. We have lunch. We have a catered lunch. We do a full lunch because what else could you do other than have a good lunch? And it's not just about the food. It's about the community. It's about, when you break bread with people,
Mm-hmm.
it just does something to you to be in community and getting together over food. And then we also do a fun activity. I stress the fun activity. And Regina, I don't know if you can relate to this or not. I know a lot of times when I was caring for mom, having fun was the last thing
Right.
on my mind. I mean,
Exactly.
I was exhausted. I was on autopilot. And sometimes I felt guilty about going out with my girlfriends because I'm like, okay, somebody else is taking care of my mom. I'm out here with my girls, sipping paint and just having a ball. So I stress the fun activity. Some of the fun things we do, they love bingo for prizes. I don't know what it is about bingo, but they love playing bingo for prizes. Taboo is another one too. They be ready to go at it playing taboo. We do like line dancing. We had a thrift store fashion show one year. So it's just all about community having fun. And then I talked to y'all earlier about the caregiver store. So we have a caregiver store where the caregivers can get Depends, bed pads, body wash, durable medical equipment, and all of our resources are free for the caregivers. And then we also provide paid respite care. So when the caregiver comes to the meetup, if they need someone to sit with their loved one, we partner with some home care agencies and we pay the home care agency so that the caregiver can come to the meetup. And I am not sure. I've done some research. I don't think there's another nonprofit out there that provides the level of resources that we provide to our caregivers. So I think that's what sets us apart is the wraparound support that we provide for our caregivers.
Okay.
Awesome.
I think I noticed that you guys went to a professional basketball game.
Yeah.
The WNBA. Yeah. In Charlotte? Was it in Charlotte?
Yeah, it was in Charlotte.
Okay.
The owner of the company was reaching out to, get the word out about the basketball team. And actually one of our city council members referred us to the owner, and he reached out and asked if he could send us some tickets to go to the game. And we had so much fun at that game. Yeah, we did. We did.
That's great.
And speaking of meetups, you have one that's coming up.
Yes. This one is On the 29th, Lavette Shirley is coming to talk about the effects of chronic stress on caregivers. We know that stress manifests itself in so many ways, affecting your physical and emotional health. So, Dr. Lavette Shirley, she's here at one of our local universities, and then she also has a nonprofit as well. But she's coming to talk to the caregivers, and then we're also going to talk about physician assistants and how they can help the caregivers and their loved ones. And then Kim Coleman, laughter yoga. I have never done laughter yoga before, but I follow Kim Coleman, and she is a hoot. I've seen her in action on YouTube and on Instagram. So she is coming to bring some laughter and just having a good time. And this is what we do every month. It is, and every month we have new caregivers, like first timers. Like this past month, we had 13 first timers at our meetup, and that is the most number of first timers that we've had. Again, it's word of mouth, it's caregivers telling their caregiver friends, because we're in that age group now where, you know, taking care of aging parents or taking care of a spouse, and the circles that you run in around that same age group, it's prevalent that our parents are aging, and who's taking care of them? We are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the need is there and the word is getting out. And I am in awe of the number of people that come. We have some caregivers that have been with us since day one, January 2022, still coming. And the one thing that really touches me, I think more than anything, is even after their loved one passes away, they still come to the meetup.
Wow.
We still have caregivers, their loved one passed away 2-3 years ago, or even recently, and they still come. One of the volunteers that came and helped me with the caregiver store yesterday and today, her mom passed away. The funeral was 2 weeks ago. And she's like, I need to keep busy. I need to do something. I need to be ready, to do something. So she's been volunteering with me, helping me out. And it's just the caregivers are like family. We are like one big happy family. And I'm not saying that exaggerating at all. Trust me, you can talk to any other caregivers that come to the meetup. It's just like we are truly there for each other in every sense of the word. The caregivers meet with each other outside of the meetup. They form friendships, they bond with each other, and they get together outside of the meetups.
And I just want to attest to that. So when I first were introduced to you, my classmate who lives in Charlotte now saw me posting about what I was going through with my mom, and just trying to find some type of outlet and relief. And she's like, you have to get in touch with them. I think this would do you so good. And the thing is, to answer Dorian's question, they are not in Florence, but what they did for me is I would call in. I don't know if you all still have the calls or the virtual sessions, but I would call in and just get the support, that I needed. And I'll never forget, it's just so happened that my family and I were going to Frankie's in, what was it?
In Huntersville.
In Huntersville.
Yeah.
And as soon as you found out, it was no hesitation. You came to where we were and loved on me, ever just talking to me over the phone.
Wow.
So what you're saying about the
Wow.
family and the impact, that is 100%. She did not know me from a can of paint, but she understood my situation and understood that I needed that love, that support, that embrace. And I will never, ever forget that moment, and just you helping me navigate through that process. Because like you said, all of that was new. It was foreign. I was going through so many different emotions, feeling guilty about feeling angry sometimes. It's like you just walked us through all of that. And then not only that, your people would check on me like, hey, just seeing how you are, how you
Yeah.
made out this week. People would call continuously or text.
Wow.
So, I mean, what you're doing is it's amazing. It is needed. Of course, you see that with how you've grown. I was blown away with how much you've grown.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited about just seeing what's going on with the foundation. But yeah, it impacted my life at a time where I desperately needed it. So I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard that you mentioned about the Caregiver store.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that? What the store is all about, what it gives?
Yeah.
etc.
So the Caregiver store is actually located at the church as well. But we have Depends, we have bed pads, body wash, body wipes, gloves, disposable gloves, barrier cream, walkers, shower chairs, rollators. And every now and then we'll get somebody will say, "Hey, I have a hospital bed. Can somebody use a hospital bed?" And we'll have caregivers that'll reach out and say, "Hey, I need a recliner that lifts up." And so I'll put the word out, "Hey, does anyone have a recliner?" So it's just all about whatever caregivers need. And again, all of our resources, all of our supplies are free for the caregivers. So once a month, the caregivers, when they register to come to the meetup, there's an order form. They order what they need from the caregiver store. We pack the orders. After the monthly meetup, they come to the caregiver store, tell them their name, and they get their package and they go on with their day. And we do it all over again the next month.
That's awesome.
And I know you're not able to do that by yourself. I know you got to be in partnership with other community agents, help agencies. Can you elaborate a little bit on your partnerships?
So a lot of our items are donated for the caregiver store, but we do take donations, and then what's not donated, we will purchase. But we have organizations, the Zetas in Charlotte. I'm gonna give them a shout out.
Mm-hmm.
They're always doing different drives. The last drive they did was for cases of body wipes. We had another organization, we needed sanitizer spray. They donated cases of sanitizing spray. So we have people that donate to the caregiver store. And two of the other big partners that we have, one of the things we do, we survey the caregivers and ask what it is that they need. And one of the things we kept getting in the survey was, "I need to talk to somebody." And listen, I am a firm believer in prayer, but I am also a firm believer in a therapist.
Me too.
So we have partnered with another nonprofit agency, and they provide free mental health therapy services for our caregivers and anyone in their family. And then also we partner with an agency called Nourish Up. It used to be called Loaves and Fishes. But our caregivers and everyone in their household receives grocery delivery, or they can pick up at Nourish Up, and you get 12 free grocery deliveries in a 12-month period. And you all know how high groceries are now.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so our caregivers can take advantage of that. And any other resources that I find out in the community, whether it's a workshop, whether it's an event, whether it's in person or virtually, I always share these events with our caregivers to make sure, because listen, I can't do it all. Frankie Mae Foundation can't do it all. I'm not a therapist.
Right.
So we have to make sure that our caregivers are getting what they need when they need. So I'm always looking for different partners in the community to make sure our caregivers' needs are being met.
That's
and we
awesome.
just had the question where someone asked, how could they help?
So financially, we can always use some help financially. We're actually having a fundraiser. We just had my birthday fundraiser was in April, and then we're doing a fall, late summer, fall fundraiser. We're having a comedy show at the Comedy Zone in Charlotte on August 30th. You can donate to that. Look, boy, y'all own it. Look at y'all. So donate. You can donate for the comedy show. You can get on our website, frankiemayfoundation.org. You can purchase a ticket if you want to drive up to Charlotte or down to Charlotte, wherever you are. If you want to come to Charlotte and hang out with us at the comedy show, or if you just want to make a general financial donation, on our website, there's a donate button, and you can make a financial donation to the Frankie Mae Foundation. And trust me, all of our overhead budget, as far as administrative, of course, we got to pay some rent to rent the facility and things like that, but over 90% of our donations go back into the program services. Lunch, we got to feed the people. So buying lunch every month, renting the facilities, paying for respite care. I don't know if people know how much it is per hour for respite care, but we pay for 5 hours per caregiver when they come to the meetup. And
Wow.
some of them we pay for 6 hours, because we have caregivers traveling. Some of them come an hour to come to the meetup. So we try to, buffer that and give them an extra hour to pay for that extra hour. So we pay for that extra hour of respite. So paying for respite care, paying for lunch, paying to rent the facility, all those things cost money. And if anybody wants to donate, I gave the frankiemayfoundation.org website. You can donate that way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Venitra, I know that Regina just shared her experience. So what kind of feedback have you received from caregivers who have utilized your service?
So I wanted to take, when I saw that question, I was like, oh, this is perfect. One of the first timers that came last Saturday for the meetup, I had another event to go to that Sunday for a girlfriend. I went to her event. This first time caregiver, I'll look up, here she comes strolling in to there just so she could hang out with me. And then that Monday, I had to facilitate a workshop for an event for caregivers. Here she comes to that event as well. And so that Monday afternoon, I get this email from her. So I wonder, it's not long, so I'm gonna just read some of it.
Okay.
But hello, Venitra. As I type your name, my eyes are filling with tears. I truly do not have the right words, and thank you feels far too small. Thank you for inviting me today. I walked in carrying so much fear, confusion, and uncertainty. I was searching for clarity in the middle of all this madness, and somehow I left with peace in my heart. My story is not very different from many others. My father passed away from brain cancer when I was 6 years old, and my mother devoted her entire life to my brother and me. She gave us everything she had. Now it is my turn to care for her. Today, I kept hearing one word: caregiver. Not daughter, not her little girl, caregiver. That word hit me deeply. For the first time in my life, I am facing something I cannot predict, control, or fix. During your presentation, I realized that I need to make peace with that word. I need to understand that being a caregiver does not erase the daughter in me. It is simply another way of loving my mother. On my way home, I was driving on 485, listening to Holy Forever and crying so hard that I did not even realize I was speeding past everyone. The tears just kept coming. I was not crying because of everything happening around me. I was crying because of the people God has placed in my life when I least expected them. People like you who see beyond the smile, the strength, and the words, I'm fine. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for making space for me when I did not even realize how much I needed it. Thank you for helping me feel less alone in a journey that feels so unfamiliar and overwhelming. What you are doing means more than you may ever know. today touched my heart in a way I cannot fully explain. Thank you. So this is why I do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And she,
Wow.
like I said, this was her first time, and her mother doesn't speak English. And so I was telling her about the respite care that we provide. She said, well, the only thing is my mother doesn't speak English. And so I reached out to some other friends in the nonprofit space and was connected to an agency called Refugee Support Services and reached out to them. So they have connected with her to get some assistance for her and her mother in her mother's native language.
Amazing.
Yes. Amazing.
Amazing.
So I know you mentioned the comedy show. You mentioned the monthly meetups. Is there any other upcoming initiatives that you are excited about?
So we like I said, we do the monthly meetups, and then December our December meetup is always our holiday party. We always have such a good time at our holiday party. Um, we've had Black Santa to come and do some entertainment, and Regina, your girlfriend, Tara's husband,
Mm-hmm.
he comes every year to sing. He and his
Oh
group
yeah,
come.
he could sing.
Yeah, they come and sing, and we do Christmas games, and just it's just a big party. We don't have a speaker or anything during our holiday party, but we just have a party. We just have a good time. And then in the spring we're having another fundraiser. We're going to do a fashion show fundraiser in the spring, but it's just all about every month just loving on the caregivers and just letting them know we're here. We're here.
That's good. So how do you envision the Frankie Mae Foundation involving the next 5 years, the next few years?
So I noticed when somebody asked if we were in Florence, part of our strategic plan is to plant Frankie Mae Foundation chapters in different
Perfect.
places in North Carolina and South Carolina and wherever else we can be. So that's part of our strategic plan is to branch out and provide these services to caregivers in different parts of North Carolina, South Carolina, and wherever else the need is. So that's what we're looking at right now.
Okay.
That
Okay.
would be
Uh,
instrumental.
yeah,
Ugh. I'm
absolutely.
praying that that happens because it's needed.
Yeah. And we just got some new board members on. We just got onboarded 5 new board members. And so of course you all know behind the scenes, because look, y'all doing this podcast, it looks easy, but behind the scenes, doing the behind the scenes stuff.
Yes.
So doing the behind the scenes stuff, now we have more hands on deck that we can do some more things and just touch more people. And to me, it's not about the numbers, but it is about the numbers. I just want to make sure the quality of resources that we provide to our caregivers is making a difference. I don't care if it's 1,000 people, but if 1,000 people show up and they're not getting what they need, what's the point of 1,000 people showing up?
Right. Right.
Right. Right. So as the executive director, what has been the most rewarding aspect of your work with the Frankie Mae Foundation?
I think the most rewarding part is like getting that letter that email from her, and just the return. Like I said, when the caregivers keep coming every month and I get to love on them and they get to love on me, and I tell them all the time, I get just as much out of coming to these meetups and being with the caregivers as they do. And I don't know how much time we have, but I know after mama passed away, and Regina, I don't know if this happened to you, but when my mama died, I had the hardest time getting back to normal. I was depressed. I was functionally depressed. I could still get up some days and go, but it was devastating. I wasn't prepared for life after caregiving because I had spent so much time focusing on her, and I didn't know what to do with myself when I didn't have her to take care of every single day. And so, like I said, we were in the midst of COVID. So I was with her 24 hours a day for 7 months. And then all of a sudden, she's not here anymore. So what am I supposed to do? And we were still kind of in lockdown towards that time. So it wasn't like I could just get up and go and have a good time and do whatever. It was heavy when she passed away. And again, therapy. I don't know what I would have done without therapy, because I truly was not prepared for life after caregiving. So those caregivers, when I get to see them and love them and hug on them, and especially when I meet the mamas or the daddies that they taking care of, and they the cutest things and loving on them, and it does my heart good to be with them.
Wow. That's rewarding.
Yeah, it is. It
Yes.
really is.
So, what advice would you give to caregivers who may be struggling and unsure where to turn for support?
The first thing I would say is don't be afraid to ask for help. I know in the beginning, nobody can take care of my mama like I can take care of my mama. Nobody can do it the way I do it. Um, until I'm curled up in the bed, ugly crying because I am overwhelmed and don't know what to do. But don't be afraid to ask for help. And also be specific in your ask. If you need somebody to come over and do your laundry, hey, can you come and do my laundry? Or hey, I I can't cook. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Could you have some food delivered? Or can you bring some food over? Can you come and sit with mama for 2 hours so I can take a nap? Whatever it is, just let people know, because people want to help. Sometimes they don't know what to do or what you need. So be specific in your ask. And one other thing I will tell people, no is a complete sentence.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that you cannot physically, mentally, emotionally do, and people asking you to do this, asking you to do that, and you tired out of your mind, no. Simple as simple as that. So take care of yourself and ask for help. Those are my two things that I tell people all the time.
Absolutely. I don't even have any follow up on that. Like I said, I'm trying to keep my emotions at bay, but everything you said, it is bringing all of the feelings and the
Mhm.
memories and wow. And I'm just trying to hold it together because, like, oh my gosh, because you don't know what to do afterwards, and the times that you were depressed, and then the time, just everything. But
Mhm.
woo.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, and that was one of the things, the therapy for the caregivers, because I know how I felt, and just wanted to make sure when I started seeing that in the surveys, I was like, yeah, let's figure out how we can get some free stuff going. And it's funny, one of the caregivers, I remember, she was like, "Oh no, I'm fine. I don't need it. I don't need it." Until she finally signed up. And after she signed up, she said, "I did not realize how much I needed therapy until I started the the sessions, and realized how badly I need it." Because we're on, you're on
Mhm.
autopilot, and you just keep going and going and going and going, and not realizing when you sit still for 10 minutes, you like, yeah, I need some help.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have another question. What are some of the techniques you can use when dealing with an Alzheimer's patient or dementia patients who forgets who you are?
So when you say dealing with, are you talking about the behaviors, um, the forgetfulness, the agitation? It just depends on what. If he could be a little bit more specific, I could probably answer better. I don't want to just
Okay.
throw out some answers.
Okay. I want to help my cousin in Florida who is a caregiver for my aunt who is slightly forgetting who her family is.
Okay. I would I keep pictures on my. I would keep pictures on my phone, and it was funny. I would show my mom pictures of herself, and she would say she was my sister.
Mm-hmm.
But do it in a way that you don't make them feel bad. Be like, hey, this is Regina. She is your daughter, and just leave it at that. I wouldn't just keep hounding, because it might get them agitated. Or when your cousin goes to, I'm assuming it's his mom, the cousin's mom, and just, hey mom, I'm Venitra, I'm your daughter. And if sometimes my mama called me a boy, and at that time, you know what, I was a boy. I just sometimes you just go with the flow. I feel like if they aren't hurting themselves or they aren't hurting anybody else, just go with the flow. Just go with the flow.
Yeah, I think that was one of the most difficult parts for me.
Mhm.
Was so my mom was a little bit of both. She would have the forgetfulness, but then my mama liked to fight, you know, and, you know, stuff like that's like, lady, like you little, but your hands hurt.
Listen,
Okay.
Mama was 100 pounds soaking wet with bricks in her back pocket. When that woman started fighting, that lady was something
Oh
else.
my.
We had to figure out what was causing those outbursts. Sometimes we would know, and sometimes we wouldn't know. It could be a random Tuesday at 3:30. She just decided she was gonna start fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be she's tired, or she's bored, or she's frustrated. And so we would try to watch her body language, or listen to what she was saying, or whatever the case is. And I was one of these at the beginning, was like, we're not going to do medication for her behaviors. Oh, we had to end up doing medication for her behaviors, because it had gotten to the point where she was fighting us. She was fighting at the adult daycare. And we just had to figure out what we can do. And a lot of times we could just redirect her. When she started getting agitated, we would just redirect her and start talking about something else. And she loved to eat. Now, mama, food was her love language. You had some sweets around and she start cutting up, I'd be like, oh, let's go get a popsicle. And sometimes that switch would flip, and she forgot all about she was cussing me out. 2 seconds ago. All she heard was popsicle.
Yeah.
So here we are eating popsicles, laughing, and we best friends, and she just cussed me out 5 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
But you just have to try to figure out what's going on at that time. And sometimes medical conditions can cause behaviors. I don't know if your mama, urinary tract infections will wreak havoc
Yeah, she had.
on the aging population. And then you throw Alzheimer's into the mix. Those urinary tract infections can cause hallucinations, agitation, fighting, dehydration. So all the things, you just have to look, you become a medical expert
I'm trying to tell you.
and a private investigator, because you're trying to figure out, what did she do? Why is she agitated? What happened 5 minutes ago to where she's acting like this? So you figured out, you become real good at trying to figure out what you got to do.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Was that your last question, Princess?
Yes, that was my last question. But I do have a story to share. My uncle, he passed away probably maybe about 8 years ago. and he never had any kids. So my brother, he came in, I always thought of him as my superhero. So he came in, okay, I'm gonna take, my uncle in, and I'm gonna care for him. I am from a large family. So we had a village. I got 11 siblings.
Mm.
So we took turns. But my brother at first took on the responsibility for himself, and he didn't want help. He was like the superhero. Okay, I'm gonna save the day, but it took a toll on
Yeah.
his health.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened? My sister ended up keeping him while everyone kept my uncle. So
Yeah.
we took turns day in and day night caring for him.
Mm-hmm.
So it got too much on us because we all had jobs. And so I was able to get him in medical nursing home. Um, we hated to do that, but we had to, because now my brother is sick. And so I am thankful for all the things that you are saying and the things that you are doing, because caregivers definitely need the help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. They do. And statistics show that a lot of times the caregiver actually passes away or has so many health issues from
Wow.
caregiving. So that's why I stress self-care with caregivers.
Yeah.
I know it sounds easier.
Definitely.
It sounds easier said than done, but you have to find time to take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
And we just
Thank you.
have one last question. Again, do you know what it is about dementia or Alzheimer's that leads to their demise?
So again, Alzheimer's is dementia. Alzheimer's, it is a disease that affects the brain. So when your brain, so with Alzheimer's, there are plaques and proteins that affect the brain. So they're tangled webs in your brain, and so your brain actually starts shutting down, and the brain controls the entire body. So it is you stop eating. First you like and my mom, she wasn't able, it got to the point where she couldn't walk, so she was bedbound. She couldn't feed herself. And then you stop eating, you stop drinking, and your body just naturally shuts down. And a lot of times it's not the Alzheimer's itself, but a lot of people pass away from pneumonia. A lot of people catch pneumonia from being in the bed all the time, being in the bed, and you can't get up and move and exercise. So the fluid settles in your lungs and you pass away from pneumonia, not exactly the Alzheimer's, but pneumonia. But your brain just shuts down and your body shuts down. So that's where the demise comes in.
And that is painful to watch.
It
Mm.
is. It is.
That was torture. I think that is probably what haunted me the most, because it's nothing that you can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember my daughter used to try to she used to get the little sippy cups and the little shakes, protein shakes,
Mm-hmm.
and used to try to make my mom drink. And, she would do that for a little while. But then after that, my mom just wouldn't even take that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And what can you do?
Right.
It's absolutely nothing that you can do but just be there.
Yeah.
So again, that's why what you do is so important, because you need that support system
Mm-hmm.
to walk you through those moments.
Yeah.
And just to have somebody who, first of all, that just gets it, because seems like, I mean, people can empathize, but when that person can say, I literally walked in your shoes,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
and sometimes it's just, that's all they have to say. And then it's just, I don't know. It's like, you get it. Like, I don't have to say anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Until you walked in the shoes of a caregiver, like you can read a book about it, you can watch a movie about it, but if you haven't walked it personally, it doesn't mean the same thing.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. Yeah.
Wow. So, well, personally, I want to thank you again for your time. Thank you for the great work that you're doing there in the Charlotte area. Again, everyone, if you want to support what she is doing, please go to her website. What I have the information at. So you have her post office box there, her phone number's there, FrankieMaeFoundation.com, email address, all of that is on the screen to help her continue to fund the vision. And you heard her say expansion, so she's trying to come to a city near you. She is trying to come to a city near you. And like I said before on some of our other podcasts, sometimes you don't have to be the one with the vision. You just undergird the vision that's already there. And that's just as impactful. You don't have to be the one to think of it. If you see someone doing something that you know others could benefit from, get behind them, push them, and give them all that they need to keep it going. Because like she said, it's needed. The person on the screen, Showtime, or Dorian, he's with the Buffalo Soldiers Motorcycle Club. So they have a chapter in Charlotte. So he said that he will be getting with the Charlotte chapter. So just like you have the Zetas, you're probably going to have the Buffalo Soldiers who will put on motorcycle rides.
Absolutely.
You know, they could do a ride for your foundation and collect some monies and things like that. So
please do.
Yeah.
And listen, me and my Jeep, we'll get on 85 and we'll come on down to South Carolina if we need to.
Yes. I love it. Princess, any final words for you?
I just want to thank you once again for being here, and we look forward to seeing the incredible things that the foundation is going to accomplish. You know, I'm speaking this thing in existence.
We're going to have to ride to Charlotte. We're going to have to catch one of those meetups.
Absolutely.
We're bringing some bikers with us.
Come on up in the parking lot. We'll be waiting for you.
Yeah, we're gonna organize that and do a ride on one of your meetups. And
come on.
Yeah,
we can do that.
We're gonna make that happen.
Thank y'all so much. I enjoyed this. I really did.
Yes.
I did.
It was a pleasure having you on.
Thank you. When I got your email, I was like, okay, I'll do it.
I'm so glad you did. So it's a lot of information. People need to hear it, and I'm just looking forward to what's going to come out of it. So,
and trust me, the email on the website, I check that email personally. So if anybody has any questions, if they call Pamela, actually the phone number goes to Pamela. But the email, just email me, call us. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, whatever, trust me, we will get right back with you.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it. Well, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your participation. We really appreciate it. And we will see y'all next time on Beyond the Road.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Bye.
You too. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for riding with us Beyond the Road. Make sure that you follow us on all social media platforms. If you're interested in being a part of the podcast, please reach out and let us know. Until next time, see you out there.